Hello and welcome back to my channel. I am Megan and this video is all about what items that we find to be essential when we pack and prep for Disney and items that we want to have while we're in Florida at Disney World. This last trip that we took in January, we stayed off property, so some of the things were a little different than we normally used, but honestly I think they would be a good addition to any pack and prep list as you prepare to go on your trip to Disney World. And so I have this, it feels very long overdue. I have had a running list in my phone since we got back, and that was in January. It is now at the end of March, but I am on spring break this week, and so it was a good time to sit down, have good lighting in the middle of the day, and also just gather everything and not have to rush through it. This is
green.
Yes.
And marker.
This is Elias and he's hanging out with me for this video. He'll probably chime in on and have opinions on some of the things that we go over and what we find to be essential for the park. But first up is travel essentials regarding transportation and days in the park, things that we like in our stroller. And then I'll go over our backpack for the airplane, as well as the essentials that I put in my like crossbody park bag for when we're at the parks. And then some are just random suitcase items that I find very convenient to have with us when we are traveling. So first up is we still take a stroller. Elias is 5 years old. He can walk very long distances, but it's still really nice to have a stroller for him to be able to take a break because there's not always a good place to sit down while we're at the parks. It's also convenient for the airport. We usually fly when we go, at least at this point. And so it's nice to have the stroller when we're going through the airport. And it's also just nice to have to keep we always take water bottles. We buy drinks while we're there. We buy merch. And so it's nice to have the storage. We have a stroller caddy that we use, and then the storage underneath the stroller to hold all the things, leftovers, things like that, or desserts we get to take back to our room. But because of Florida being Florida and the weather being what it is, especially in the summer or in the fall, but even when we went in January, we experienced some rain while we were at the park. And so we always travel with the stroller cover. There was actually one time, our second trip to Disney, I forgot to pack it and our stroller got soaking wet while we were riding Remy's Ratatouille ride in Epcot. And we were in the France Pavilion and we went and got a treat as it was a torrential downpour. When we did that, I think it was in the summer.
Yeah. I think it was in May or Halloween.
We've never been during Halloween, but we would like to go during Halloween. I think it was when we went one time in like June.
I think it was when Avatar was made. No.
It's okay. But regardless, we now have very much so learned our lesson. The first trip, hold on one second. The first time we went for spring break in March, we did not need it. And I just forgot to put it in our suitcase the second time. But ever since then, we have made sure to bring that. So this is nice. It has the air holes. It has this that opens up. But he likes to sit in the stroller with it. And it keeps him.
I used it a one time.
Yeah, it keeps him nice and dry.
Yeah, and when we went last year, kind of
January.
after Christmas.
Yeah, in January.
Yeah, I got a baby's bed. It was cuter than ever.
Yeah, I showed in our Disney haul. Are you gonna go get Sven?
Yeah, we're gonna go get Sven.
Okay.
I think he's in the car.
Okay, well, we'll have to get him later then. You can just wait.
Actually, I'm gonna bring some of my stuff.
Okay. The next thing is a poncho. This is actually a vintage Disney poncho. They don't sell these anymore. They have a different version. But ponchos for the adults that do not have the stroller cover are necessary. We have bought the cheap, like one-time use ones, and when we were there in January and it was rainy, the wind was blowing so hard, so like my head still got really wet. So next time we go, we're actually going to get new ponchos. These are just older and pretty wrinkly, so I think there's like this like Frog Tog maybe is the brand, but I will put a picture of the ponchos off of Amazon that I would like to get. The next item is something that was a little unique to our last trip. Typically when we go to Disney World, we prefer to stay on property because it just puts you right in the middle of the magic and you kind of live in a Disney bubble while you're there. But also we find Disney transportation to be super convenient when you are looking to either resort hop or go to restaurants or different parks. It's really nice to just have all of that provided for you. But this last trip that we went on, we went with my husband for a work trip, and Elias and I just tagged along. And then when my husband was done working, he would join us at the parks, or we would start our days off at the parks together. He would go work and then meet us back. But because we did not stay on property where we were using the buses and whatnot, we Ubered from our hotel, which was about a 20-minute ride to the parks from our hotel where we were staying, because we needed to be closer to the conference center that my husband was working at. We had to travel with a car seat, and I didn't want to bring our big car seat. You can rent lockers at the Disney parks, which is very convenient to be able to store stuff, especially if you're going to be at the parks all day. However, I didn't know how well a car seat would store at the parks, and I just wanted something a little bit easier to maneuver in and out of cars instead of having to latch everything on. Elias is still in a 5-point car seat situation in our car. But since we were going such a short distance, and because even though it was a 20-minute drive, that mile-wise wasn't that far, there's just usually a little bit more traffic, or you have to kind of go around ways, the way that the interstates are set up and where we were located. But I wanted something a little bit more convenient, and I was chatting with one of my friends about kind of the car seat dilemma, and she said that her sister-in-law recommended this inflatable car seat, and so you can get it off of Amazon. The brand is Hiccapop, and it comes in a bag like this. And then the car seat, it's currently deflated because I have been keeping it in my suitcase, but the bottom has like these little grippies so it sticks onto the seat. It has these to hook around the car seat so it's all secure. And I think these are for like anchoring it if the car that you're riding in has the anchors, and you can hook them in. But it has like a shoulder belt adjuster installation, and it comes with instructions, and then it zips. So this is washable, which I did wash it once we got home. And then the inside is inflatable, so you don't need a pump or anything. You just do it by mouth. It's super easy to blow up. So while we were at the airport waiting for our Uber to take us to the hotel, I blew it up. We put it in the car quick. He was safe and secure. And then when we got to the parks after taking an Uber there, I could just deflate it and stick it under the stroller and the little storage caddy, or leave it blown up depending on it. Like when we went to Disney Springs, I just left it blown up because we didn't need all of the space underneath. But it was super convenient. Obviously do your research and what you feel comfortable with using for your child, but this was super nice to have a deflatable booster since we weren't in the car a ton, and it just was super convenient. So I do recommend looking into that. Again, that we found on Amazon. So I think in the future when we go, I would still consider taking that if we flew, even if we were staying on Disney property. I think it's nice to have, and it doesn't take up much space, so we would probably take that anyway in case we wanted to rent a car or take an Uber to like the character warehouse at the outlets, or drive to a different store or restaurant that was off property or a little bit further on property. So we decided instead of taking the bus or Skyliner or whatever, we might want to get an Uber anyway. So that is definitely something that I'll just leave in my suitcase because it doesn't take up much space. It folds up really well, and you can put it in the storage bag. And so it really just is super easy to pack. So I definitely recommend looking into that.
showing them how I made it.
Yeah, definitely.
I like it. To like the bottom and the wood and green.
Next up are essentials that I like to keep in my backpack for park days, airport, etc. So first up on the list is we like to travel with antibacterial wipes. These come in handy, especially at the airport and especially when you're sitting at MCO. MCO is a much bigger airport than our St. Louis airport. And so usually we have enough time when we arrive at the St. Louis airport to get through TSA, get a coffee, a quick breakfast, and then we either eat it right before or as we are boarding the airplane. But we like to get to MCO a little bit earlier. They have some shopping, they have more restaurant options, and so because it is such a busy airport, all the tables are not necessarily the cleanest at all times. And so it's just nice to have these to wipe down the tables, also to wipe down things in the hotel room. And sometimes when we pack hand sanitizer, the wipes, sometimes you just need a wipe to wipe things down. We also use these, I keep them in my backpack for park days while we're at the park. Disney does a fabulous job of keeping everything super clean and super nice, but sometimes you snag a table quicker than they can get to the tables to clean them in between guests, especially at like the quick service places. And so it's just nice to have these wipes. I keep these in my car as well, and so I just restock as needed, but I keep these in the glove compartment of my car, and then I'll grab, if I have enough, I'll throw them in my backpack for our trip. But these are nice to have. The next thing that we typically take is a smaller thing of baby wipes. Again, it's just nice to have a little refresh when you're in the parks, whether it's eating a Dole Whip and it's melty because it's hot in Florida, and so this is nice to have for like sticky fingers. Also, Elias used this when we ate at the restaurant near Pandora, and they have like this little wrapped hot dog. It's like basically a pig in a blanket, and it has this really nice sweet glaze over the bread that covers the hot dog, and so that was a little sticky, so it's nice to have these on hand. You liked that, right?
Yeah, I loved it. It was great. It tastes like vinegar, actually.
Vinegar? No, it's like sweet.
Almost like vinegar.
Okay.
Almost like that.
But these are just nice to have, so we keep these in the backpack. And again, I keep these in my car, and so as they get low, I just restock, and then I just take them out of my car. I already have them in there when we're on the go, and so I just throw them in my backpack for our Disney trips. The next thing I like to have are cup sleeves for drinks that we get. Do you want to hold up yours?
Yeah.
It's in there.
I have mine, which is Mickey Mouse hat, and I like it.
Yeah.
It keeps my, like, 7 Blues from our home. I like to put my hot coffee in here.
Yeah. Keeps your drinks
hot
warm.
Chocolate.
Or your cold drinks, then it doesn't sweat and get on your hands, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also like to put sometimes water in this cup.
Yeah, and then put it around your water. Yeah. Just to make everything magical.
Yeah.
Right.
Just to make sure my hands don't get freezing. So that's why we pack these.
Yeah, we like to pack these because whether we're at the airport or in the parks, when we get a drink, we like to put these around them. All three of... Okay, just one second. All three of our cup sleeves are from Happily Ever Threads. We love this small business. They have the cutest stuff. We love their cup sleeves. I actually need to wash most of ours from our last trip. They are looking a little rough at this point, but we love Happily Ever Threads. I actually have all of the Park Bow logo pillows on our bed. And we always travel with these so that we have them at the airport and at the parks, especially in the Florida heat. Just keeps everything from getting like dripping wet from the condensation. But these are always great to have. Again, I keep these in my car throughout the year just to add a little magic to every day if we stop and get a Diet Coke or, like Elias said, 7 Brew.
Yeah, like I said, I keep my hot chocolate sometimes in this coffee.
Yeah, the sleeve. Yeah,
the sleeve.
You put the cup in the sleeve, but these are just really nice to have. So these I'll wash and then I'll put them back in my car. See how they're We use them so much, don't we?
Yeah. Can I do my stuff?
Hold on. Next, I like to travel with these mesh reusable bags when we travel, and these are from Amazon. They come in different sizes, so usually I'll pack like a bigger size. If we are going when we can utilize the pool, I'll use those for wet swimsuits if they're still a little damp as we are leaving the resort to head back home, or just this size to throw in a backpack. A lot of times when Elias is doing his pin trading, I'll throw his pins in here. We don't have any of the pin boards yet. We're hoping to get some, but the mini ones should fit in here as well, just to keep them all protected. In addition to these reusable ones, I typically travel with Ziploc bags, and it came in really handy this last trip. I really wanted to try Jeff's Bagels while we were in Orlando, and so we did Uber Eats one morning for breakfast, the morning that we actually headed home. And so it was cheaper to get half a dozen than it was just for us to get 3 bagels. And so we did half a dozen. We had 3 left over, and then I luckily had a gallon Ziploc bag, and we packed them in my backpack after we put them in the Ziploc bag, and they traveled home really well. So it's nice to have that, the reusable ones, but then also just some Ziploc bags to have on hand just in case. I travel with all of my cosmetics in some type of bag that I feel like could potentially leak. This last time I did take my own shampoo and conditioner since we weren't staying on property. If we're staying on Disney property, I typically don't travel with shampoo and conditioner and body wash because they have the sea salt Disney cosmetics, not really cosmetics, but toiletries is the word I'm looking for. But they have the toiletries there, and we absolutely love them. They smell amazing, and so luckily we don't have to travel typically with shampoo, conditioner, or body wash, but these are always handy to have. I keep them in my suitcase. I have some in my purse or the car or whatever, but these come in a huge pack. They're fairly cheap and reasonable, but I like to travel with these just because you never know when you're going to need a little bag. And then again, I travel with Ziploc bags because you never know when you're going to need those. In the bags, I typically keep things like our other travel essentials. So one thing we never leave home without is we prefer the Touchland hand sanitizer. It's really compact and thin, and so it fits really well in park bags. And you like the smell?
Yeah, it smells like green apple because it's apple.
Yes. They do make a little Mickey like keychain holder, which
it does not taste good if you taste it.
Yeah, do not taste these. They're not for eating.
They taste worst.
Yes. You didn't spray it in your mouth, did you?
No, I
just
my hand.
Yeah.
And it tastes bad.
Yeah, it does not taste good. But they do have like a little Mickey keychain holder that has, it like goes around the outside and it has the ears. Be fun to get that. Because then it could just hook on your bag, but I usually just stick those things in this type of bag. I typically travel with eye drops. I have dry eyes, and so these little individual vials are really nice to have, and they travel really well. But on the airplane, my eyes get dry, or if we have long days at the parks, or after we ride things like Everest.
Yeah.
Do you like Everest?
Yes and no, because I was enjoying the ride on the curve, but when it went down, it was not good. Not good.
Yeah.
I liked Avatar great and not great. Great and not great.
You like to watch it. You
yeah,
like to relive it.
And guess what I'm going back for? Like I said in the other video, I am getting an Avatar fancy stuffing. It's red. Because in the room now you buy stuff, which is, I saw this corner Banshee, it's red and I like it.
Yeah.
So next time that we go to Disney, I'm going to use my money and buy that right away. The first thing I'm going to get is that thing.
Okay.
Because I want it so bad.
Yeah.
First park we're going to go to is
Animal Kingdom.
Animal Kingdom.
Okay.
So I would.
Yeah.
And second of all, is we're not going on Avatar or Everest, right, Mom?
I don't know.
No, I am definitely not.
Okay.
But
I typically travel with these just because they're nice to have, especially after rides or a long day at the park. And so I typically travel with eye drops. I got these at Costco. They come in a huge pack, but you can get like eye drops obviously anywhere, but those specifically are from Costco and they come in a really big pack and they're pretty reasonable. We typically travel with Tums as well, depending on what we're eating.
Yeah.
Who eats all the Tums?
Me.
No.
Kind of.
You and
Daddy.
Yeah, so I typically travel with these, keep them in my purse, and then I'll pack extras in a little travel medicine container. We don't have like any medication that we take regularly, so we just use this to pack ibuprofen, and then we use it for like packing cold medicine and extra Tums. And then we'll keep this in our backpack or my park bag to have while we're at the parks. And then also I have like the little, I forgot to grab it, but the little travel ibuprofen. The last time I just packed it in one of these containers, and I obviously left this at the hotel, and I got a horrible headache while we were at Hollywood Studios. The park's guest services do sell little packets of ibuprofen. Obviously they're a little pricey, but it was well worth. I think I spent like $1.50 for 2 Motrin, and that's all they had. They didn't have ibuprofen or Tylenol. They just had Motrin, but it was well worth it because my head was hurting so badly. But I try to keep the little travel containers in these bags so that I have ibuprofen in case I get a headache while at the park. From too much sun or just allergies or whatever. And then I like to also have Kleenexes with us because you never know when you're going to need that, and tissue paper just does not cut it. And then I also, I also travel with a small thing of perfume, so I don't have to bring my huge perfume bottle, but it has like the spritz like normal, and then you just take off the topper of your bottle and then you stick this on top and pump it up and down, and then this will fill. So I keep this in my airport and park bag just for a little spritz refresh. The other thing that has become an absolute essential for me at the Disney parks, I am a motion sickness girly, and I cannot handle many of the rides. I love thrill rides. I love roller coasters. But since high school, I have become very motion sickness prone and like vertigo issues. And like to the point when I was in high school that my mom had to call me out sick because I literally could not get out of bed. I could not walk. And anytime I did have to like use the restroom, I would literally have to crawl on my hands and knees. And so I get very motion sickness. And so this last time I ordered these motion sickness bands that are usually used for people when they go on cruises, and they have a little ball pressure point. You wear them on your wrist.
Yeah,
so,
that's how they work.
Yeah, they worked so well. I could ride all of the rides, even like the virtual reality type rides like Star Tours, but you count 3 fingers down and then you put the pressure point around your wrist, and
these are mine.
the ball the ball pushes into it, and it helped so much. So I really had these on basically the entire time that we were at the park, but especially for every ride. It comes in a 2-pack on Amazon, so you do get a set, 2 of the black and 2 of the gray, but I will not travel to Disney without these again. Honestly, I would even probably wear them on the airplane because sometimes I get a little motion sick on the airplane, but these gave me enough confidence that I feel like I could go on a Disney cruise. Yeah. I'm trying to convince.
I like these.
Yeah. I am trying to convince my husband for us to go on
my front.
Yeah, on a Disney cruise.
And we didn't have that much paint.
Another essential are these magnetic cord wraps. So you just wrap them around a couple times and then they stick together magnetically. We usually have these.
I was showing mine.
Yeah. We usually have these just in our suitcase. We leave them there. Another essential that I use at home every time I wash my hair, but I had never traveled with it. And I don't know why I didn't think to pack this, but I saw Brianna Woodbine mention that she was packing her hair towel. And let me tell you, this was a game changer. I usually just use one of the extra towels that is in the hotel room, but it just is so clunky. I have 2 of these hair towels, head wraps, and they really work so well because I typically will take a shower, wash my hair, and then before I dry my hair, I will put on my makeup, and these just hold your hair so much better and they absorb a lot of the water. So this time I made sure to pack one, and it really did make a huge difference of just feeling like you were at home and just the convenience of it. So I will definitely always travel with my hair wrap from now on. Another thing I like to take is a travel nail kit. My friend gifted me this years and years ago, and so I just keep it in my suitcase and it doesn't leave, but it has all the essentials of what you need. Nail clippers, 2 files that are different like grit levels. It has a little pair of nail scissors, which honestly this has come in handy for things like cutting tags off of merchandise that we've bought. And then it has tweezers. And so I can't tell you how many times that this has come in handy when we have been traveling. And so this stays in my suitcase and I will never travel without a little nail kit. The other thing that I really find helpful to pack is one of these dirty laundry bags, and I have a few. Usually my husband and I will each pack our own if we both remember. We typically will share a suitcase, and so we have like I think 3 of these bags, but it unzips and then unfolds, and it's just really nice to have a place to keep your dirty laundry, especially after a long day at the park. And then I just throw this in the laundry when we get home with our clothes. So I just dump everything out, and then I will wash this and then put it back into my suitcase right after doing that first load of laundry when we get home from a vacation. But these are just so nice to have. Again, I find it easier than just taking my suitcase, hanging everything up, and then putting dirty laundry back in there. I don't know. I feel weird if like my suitcase would get like searched or something at the airport. It's just nice to have all of the dirty clothes in one spot, not touching anything else, because typically we'll overpack a little bit and end up with some clean clothes on the way back. And so I just like to keep all of those things separate. So we will travel with at least 1, if not 2 of these, depending on how long that we're gone for. So I think this one, and maybe all of them, because I think 2 of them that we were gifted, one says Mrs., one says Mr. I think we were gifted at my bridal shower years ago, but I'm pretty sure all 3 of them were found at TJ Maxx, Marshall's, a store like that, but I'm sure Amazon has them too. But it's just really nice to have, again, and I just leave these in my suitcase so that they're already there whenever we do go on a trip. The last thing that I always make sure to pack when we are going to Disney are my mini ears, and I'm slowly building my collection, so I will pack whichever ones kind of coordinate with my outfits depending on what I'm packing. These are the ears that I got our first trip as a family for the 50th celebration. The next year when we went, I got these ears. They are the Disney 100 Loungefly ears, and I picked these up because we went during the Disney 100 celebration that following year. Last year for Mother's Day, Sean gifted me these bell ears, so I took these for the first time in January. And then if you watched my previous video, I got some magic mail in. I still have the tags on this, but these are just my neutral mini ears. So I will be for sure taking these on our next trip whenever we go next. I don't know when that is, but you know, there's always something to look forward to, but I will take these because they are just so cute and velvety and soft, and I love that they can go with just about anything. So I'll pack my ears, and then the other thing, these are all either Shop Disney, you can find them online, or at the parks. Obviously these 2 are no longer available since they were for special celebrations, but another small business that I love to support is Tomorrow's Memories, and they have the cutest hats for the park. So I have this Main Street Mom Club hat, and then on the side it says Tomorrow's Memories with like the fireworks, and then it says enjoy the ride. And so I'll typically take this and wear it one of the days while we're there. I wear it a lot at home too. But I just think it's such a cute hat. They have different patterns. It's really high quality. The embroidery is really nice. And so I'll take this hat as well. But they're on Instagram and they have different drops at different times, and they have such cute hats for the park.
I just had to brush my teeth. I had to brush my teeth because I didn't brush my teeth yesterday in the morning. I didn't.
Yes, you did.
But I did brush it today, too.
Okay, great job. Boy, mom life. So I think that'll do it for this video. Those are our main essentials. Obviously, we'll pack other travel essentials, but these are more like specific to when we travel to Disney and what we find helpful versus just like a regular like weekend trip somewhere. But I hope you find that helpful. I will put up a list, hopefully if I can figure out how to like maybe do something fancy here and put up a picture of all of the things I listed out. And if you have any questions or would like a link for any of the things like the wristbands or I don't know, maybe what the ears, yeah. Or the car seat, really. Just let me know and I can send that over. You can follow me on
Tums too.
yeah, those are just from the travel section of Target.
Yeah.
But you can find me on Instagram. My handle will be at the end of this video. But I appreciate you watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will see you next time.
Okay. Can we do another
Say bye.
Bye.